Hi, this is Kevin Crowe, head coach at UCD Rugby Club. In this series of interviews in conjunction with club sponsor Crowe, we talk to past and present players who share their memories of the club and how it has impacted their career both on and off the field.
In this video, we meet with Ian McKinley and talk to him about his experiences in UCD and his time playing for Leinster and Italy. We have a couple of questions we'd like to ask you today, myself and Kev. And we might kick off with the first one. Can you tell us what it was like when you were coming from St. Columbus into the UCD fold, and how you found the transition in terms of meeting guys from different schools and all of that, and who some of your contemporaries might have been?
Yeah, so St. Columbus is not exactly a rugby school, so to find myself, fortunate enough to get onto a UCD scholarship and play with guys that I had played through probably towards the latter stage of my school career was fantastic. That definitely propelled me in helping me play for Leinster. Playing with guys like John Cooney and even Shane Grinnell, who didn't go on to he played with the senior team in UCD, but he was like a fantastic player. So to play with guys like that really could only have made your game better. So the facilities there were fantastic, and as I said, it was pretty handy for me doing, being able to do my Leinster training, walk across the field, and then, there was UCD. So it was a pretty complete package.
When you came in out of school, you're obviously bringing a lot of guys together who haven't played together before. Was there any one moment that stands out for you when you noticed that the team was starting to come together?
If you're to talk about a game where we came together, I remember we played like a Friday night game against Belleville, and we absolutely obliterated them. And just for some reason, that sort of seemed to be like the coming together of the team. Like, we were a pretty talented group of players, but we were always it was a good rivalry at Lansdowne, so it was us and Lansdowne. But I just remember that game in particular of everyone pulling together and just playing for the badge, and that sort of propelled onto the UCD first team. So Croaky, I remember playing with you, Kev McLaughlin, Ferg was obviously there, Vaz, Artmeniev, but I suppose the first real memory I remember, they said not many 20s guys got on in the first year. Myself and John Cooney were lucky enough to do that, but I just remember Mick Hastings sort of put his arm around me and tried to explain different patterns and stuff like that, which was basically the same as the 20s. So it sort of put me at ease. So, to have someone like that who had been around at the club for so many years to, in some ways have this little pup coming up and trying to take someone's spot, and he also played a bit out half as well, for him to put his arm around me and say, look, this is what we're trying to do, made you feel very relaxed, made you feel very welcome, and sort of thinking outside of non-selfish reasons, but thinking, try and get this guy integrated and feel as at home as possible. So that was always something I'll always remember.
Ian, you came into UCD from Columbus, which isn't a traditional powerhouse in the schools game. So it was a bit of a transition from school to club, and you were in a pretty strong under-20 side. How did you find that transition between school and club helped you to make the transition from club to professional rugby?
Yeah, absolutely. I went from a situation where, we were playing in schools rugby was divided up whenever I was playing into sort of 4 tiers, and we were playing in the 3rd division. So to go from that to all of a sudden training against a Leinster backline that had Contaponi, O'Driscoll, Darcy, Luke Fitzgerald, Rob Carney, Ethan Athay, where you're sort of going, well, that's a massive jump. So to be able to have played with Vaz, Artmeniev, to be able to have played with Ferg, McFadden, it was vital for development, and it was as professional as you could have gotten, without almost, if I dare say, sort of over the top, which I think is really important. You're there to develop, and it was one of the reasons I was really happy to stay in the school that I was in, because I didn't, I wanted to become a professional rugby player, don't get me wrong, but I just thought at a young age, for it to be completely thrown at you from an early age, I think you could have potentially burned out. So UCD definitely, had a great balance in terms of having fun, but also trying to be serious and trying to be the best that you can be. So no, that absolutely helped.
Ian, you're in a rare group of professional fellas who haven't played in a colours match at senior level. Maybe you could give us couple of your memories from playing against Trinity at under 20 level?
No, well, in terms of the colours match, my dad actually played for Trinity. So for me to play for the blue at UCD, obviously, yeah, I can see the look there. A bit of family rivalry, but no, of course, you know, a match steeped in tradition and history, and to play a small part in that game. And I remember we won that game 13-6, if my memory serves me well. It was a wet day, so no, I remember that well, and I had the bragging rights at home anyway.
So turning to a more difficult topic, you suffered a pretty horrific injury in 2010, which initially looked like it was going to cut short your career in a significant way. That time you moved to Italy and developed your coaching career. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about how you found the journey from being a player to being a coach in a foreign country?
In terms of the injury, there was a couple of things that UCD, helped out tremendously. So whenever, unfortunately, I had that incident in 2010, the UCD medical staff, and I know I've gone on record countless times saying, but they were fantastic. The doctor there and the medical team, like, they were outstanding in getting me the best care that I could have. So I'll be, forever grateful for that. Also, whenever I had initially retired, UCD were really open into helping me develop the coaching side of things. So I, apart from playing, I have a big passion in coaching. So coaches would have said, if you want to come and take an under 20s warm up or help out or whatever, and just try and learn, really open. And that's the sort of great thing about rugby, and in particular, obviously UCD just having an open door policy. There's someone, unfortunately me, just maybe falling by the wayside a little bit and not developing due to an injury, but that didn't really matter to them, and they were happy just to keep me on board. And so things like that definitely helped me in moving over to Italy and transitioning it, into coaching. That rugby is a fantastic sport for having diversity, having a huge amount of people from different backgrounds, and no matter what sort of happened to you, you're always learning about the game. And there was a young guy in me trying to learn my trade as a coach, and UCD just opened the door and said, if you want to come for whatever trainings, you're more than welcome. So again, like whenever I was playing, that made me feel very welcome.
And in terms of some of the players you mentioned earlier, Johnny Cooney and so forth, I guess you would have established some pretty long-term relationships and friendships arising from your time in college.
Yeah, it's certainly been a different path for me personally, just moving away age 22, moving to Italy for nearly 10 years, and ending up playing against the guys that you were growing up playing against and with, to then suddenly playing against them at international or Pro 14 level was certainly different. So no, I mean, special moment, if I'm to think of maybe one special moment, no, definitely when Italy, we played in Chicago against Ireland in 2019, and John just came into the changing room afterwards, and we exchanged jerseys and everything like that. So memories like that definitely are. It's sort of funny to think 10 years previously, even maybe a little bit more, you were talking out for UCD under 20s. Then UCD first game, I think our first game together was against Ballymena in 2009, to then all of a sudden fast forward 10 years later and you're playing for different countries. But the respect is still always there, and the camaraderie is still always there.